What's your relationship to power, Libra? Do you use it? Do you leave it on the table out of an abundance of politeness? Do you wield it too dominantly? Something to consider as we open your August reading. Hi, welcome to Zero's Journey. I'm Madeline, and we're diving right in because Spirit wants to, so they the boss. So before we get together, we're going to get into some tarot cards in just a minute. We're going to get into the story of August for you, Libra, but Spirit wanted to kick off with a mission statement for your month. Pulled from the Threads of Fate deck, your card, your focus is power. And as I said, your unique personal relationship to your unique personal power. Boy, power. Hot button word, right? Power can be abused, and very often that is how we have seen it demonstrated. And, Spirit's already talking for you, Libra. Because Libra is the sign of justice, because Libra is the sign of balance and bringing things into harmony and take a little off this scale to put a little more over here just to make sure everything stays as it should. In a world that is so pervasively dominating and dominated, a Libra can often default to giving away their power or allowing their power to be stripped away because maybe they don't feel so fair, demanding, or building, or doing, or taking action. And the other thing that Libra is famous for, right, is indecision. Is well, do I want this or do I want that? And Spirit is spoiler alert, a lot of times where Libra's indecision comes from is not wanting to step on toes. So it's not really so much a matter of they don't know if they want to have, Indian food or Mexican food for dinner. It's, is Dave going to be upset if I pick Indian? I don't really think he likes Indian and I wouldn't want to hurt his feelings. Okay, so maybe we could do German. Oh God, I don't like German, but Dave really likes it and I want Dave to be happy and, I can eat something. I mean, who doesn't like a potato? Libra, Spirit wants you to wield your power. Because a Libra, like I said, sign of justice, sign of diplomacy, sign of deferring to the other. And you may be an outlier. You may be a Libra with, an Aries rising, Aries moon, or you may be somewhere on the other end of the spectrum. If that is so, know that about yourself and take action accordingly. But for the vast majority of us Libra types, it's time to stop deferring and it's time to start determining. So the reason Spirit brings up indecision, and I swear to God, we're going to pull some tarot cards, but Spirit is talking, so. The reason Spirit is talking about your indecision as it relates to will and to power is if you are indecisive, if you are unsure, unconscious, whatever, of what it is that you really want, goal, job, whatever this thing is that you would like to have, a relationship, etc. If you don't have a vision, it's hard to get what you want. You know what I mean? It's hard to wield the power that you have if you don't know what you're wielding it to do. So, first we have to know ourselves. We have to empower ourselves to know ourselves, and then empower ourselves to use that knowing to start making shifts and changes and ask necessary questions, make necessary demands. You have a lot of power, Libra. You are quite famously known as the iron fist in the velvet glove of the zodiac. So you can ask oh so sweetly, and rather you can demand so potently, but ask so nicely that it's received as a request. That's one of your powers. Think about what power, your perception of power, Maybe you have a skewed relationship with power and therefore you're afraid to use your own. If that is the case, then I would invite you to be an example as a different way to use power. I would invite you to be the one who shows us, wow, not all powerful people try to dominate other people with their power. They can use their power for good. What do you want to use your power for? What do you want to create? What is your vision? And if you don't have a vision, I would say that now is the time to start considering it, creating it. Okay. Now we can get into the story. Now that we have a mission statement, now that we have a compass rose, spirit, as they navigate their relationship to their power, what is the story in August that brings that to the fore? What do Libras need to know in the month of August for their highest good, spirit? What is the story for Libra sun, Libra moon, Libra rising, Libra dominant folks? What do Librans need to know for their highest good? Libra, in the month of August, spirit, what questions arise? What are the pitfalls? What are the potentials? What do we need to know for Libra's highest good, spirit? What do we need to know? What's coming up in August? What's ahead? What's behind? What's coming up for Libra in the month of August? Libra. Ooh, bonus card. Okay, Libra. Libra. Libra sun. Libra moon. Libra sun. Libra moon. Libra rising. What's on table in August? Looking for a little change. Ooh. Yes, we are needing to shape up a vision for the future, Libra. But make no mistake, you've come a long way. It's just that when you've come such a long way, Spirit would hate for you to like be in stagnation. So, you know, this is the phrase they're using. Wow. They're like, we are forcing an awakening. I hardly ever hear Spirit use the word force, period. Like, so, okay, let's keep going. If you don't know me already, I'm an intuitive reader. So cards have their classical meanings and we definitely use those here, but Spirit is speaking all the time. And that's what they're saying. So let's continue. Here's the center of your reading, where you start your story in the month of August. Beautiful card. 10 of Pentacles. Supported. Protected by the structures around you. Family, organization, there's money, there's support, things are taken care of. Very calm energy. And actually, one of the aspects of the 10 of Pentacles that you don't hear about too often, even though it's, like I said, it's a beautiful card. Like, who doesn't want to feel safe, protected, like there's more than enough resources, more than enough money? But it can also lead to a little bit of boredom. It can also be a little bit of like, wow, so now I know like exactly what's going to happen all of the time. I think that I would like a little bit of a change. Crossing your 10 of Pentacles is the 2 of Wands. Maybe you've been in this job for a long time, 5 years, 10 years. And you're like, I really think it feels like time. It feels like time to be looking out and seeing what I can get. And here's the other thing Spirit is saying is like, if you're in a 10 of Pentacles position, when you start looking at like, what do I want to change? And remember, of course, Libra, you know, these are general readings. So some of these messages are going to resonate. Some of them will not. Just realize that that's for another Libra, so don't let it bother you. But I say general because for some of you, this could be like I said, you've been in the same job for 5 or 10 years. For some of you, it could be like, I've been in the same city for this long and I feel like I want to go. It feels like time. Spirit says, if it feels like time, it's time. Never, never, never ignore your gut, your soul. It's the same thing. Like, but now Spirit is really zeroing in actually on that, and they want to say, okay, heard. Okay, sorry, that was a interjection. So Spirit's talking about trusting your gut, and Spirit is like, to trust your gut, you have to like be good to your gut and develop a relationship with your gut. So Libra, as a Libra sun and Libra stellium myself, Librans can have a sweet tooth. And listen, I'm not a doctor, clearly. And and I'm sure there's a lot of different things that I don't know about the gut, but this is what I'm hearing from Spirit, is for some of you, it's like that sweet tooth that you have, that like everyday candy habit is not doing good things for your gut bacteria. So it might be time to start thinking about eating some probiotic foods, you know, yogurt, pickles, pickled things. Again, I'm not a doctor, you can Google that shit, right? But I'm feeling like Spirit wants me to be literal with some of y'all around your gut health. And if any of you who are listening have been like working on your gut health because you've had like a pull or an intention, I just want to take this moment to say, good job listening to your intuition, because Spirit is speaking on it. So, if you haven't thought about it, it's a good time to think about it. It's a good time to just order yourself or go out and buy yourself probiotics, prebiotics, and like I said, just natural foods that are good for your gut. You can Google and look into all kinds of lists. Delicious, delicious things. Your gut is your other brain. Yes, this one up here does a lot of processing and categorizing and all sorts of important things. This here is like, is my body working? Like, how am I doing? How's my internal chemistry? Your gut will tell you everything. If you're not feeling well, it's a very, very, very likely that there's something going on in your gut that could be improved at the very least. It may not be the only thing, but it's like, if I improve this, everything else does better. So, long tangent for Spirit to say your gut health literally is important right now. And also, they are saying, never, 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 never ignore an impulse from your gut. It doesn't mean that you have to like leap into action necessarily, although I would advocate that usually it's a pretty good time to leap into action if your gut is like, do this, or don't do this. It doesn't mean you have to necessarily leap into action, but I would want you to pay attention to it. So the way that Spirit's connecting that for me is, so if you're one of these people who's like 10 of Pentacles, 2 of Wands, like I've been in this same relationship, let's just say, for 5 years, 10 years, and I feel like it's time to move on. You feel like it's time to move on, right? So that's the urge, or that's the gut. And then your mind will step in and be like, but what do you mean leave? Like, this is our partner. We've been together this long. We're like, sure, it's not perfect, but like, I hear dating is hell out there now, and da-da-da-da-da. And it's like, okay, well, yes, sure, all that. If you really are feeling like leaving your relationship, like, do you know what I'm saying, Libra? Is this making any sense to you? Spirit wants you to acknowledge your feelings. Like they said, it's hard to get what you want if you don't have a vision for it, if you cannot conceive of it, and if you are hiding, if you are obfuscating what you want and need because you're like, I don't want to take away from someone else, or I don't want to want something that's offensive or that gets in the way of somebody else's happiness, you're doing actually both of you a disservice. Because I guarantee, like, that, you know, this hypothetical Libra that wants to leave their relationship that we're talking about, I guarantee that this hypothetical Libra, if they're having these like continuous, like consistent conversations with themselves around like, is this really the person for me? Like, do I really want this? They're really annoying, and they do this and they do that, and da-da-da. And if you're really having all those consistent conversations with yourself, like internally, and your partner had a way of knowing that, don't you think they'd be like, well, damn, dude, just leave me, shit, Jesus, like, if I'm that bad, like, goddamn, fuck, stop thinking about it, get off the fucking fence, like, do you know what I mean? Like, what's going on within you? The Lovers, revelation, this is connection between mind, body, and spirit, which is, I feel like, part of why Spirit is talking about your gut health. And like, I'm going to make a direct connection between your gut and your intuition, right? It's what it is. Like, and if our gut is like muddied and unhealthy, it can be harder to hear and receive those signals, you know? But when we start getting it healthier, we start feeling more, I mean, you can look up, again, the symptoms and results for yourself. It's like when you get you're unhealthy in your gut, you tend to feel foggy, you tend to feel tired, you tend to lack energy, you tend to lack motivation, right? If you start getting healthier, it's like, I have more energy, I have more clarity, I have more motivation, and therefore I'm taking actions that are much more in alignment with what I actually want versus what I'm like, oh, this is what I'm capable of right now because I'm really tired. Do you know what I mean? Like, Spirit wants you to feel alive. And that's what's on the fucking docket for you. The Lovers is going on within you. The Two of Wands crossing that Ten of Pentacles. A Ten of Pentacles moment is a perfect time to look out for something else, because it's like you're in a good place, you're in a safe place. So anything that you go for must necessarily only be a step up, right? Because it's like, if I'm doing this well, I'm not going to step down into something else. I'm going to step into something I want even more, that I'm willing to make that shift and get over the inertia to get into, right? It's here. The Lover's on the inside. Six of Swords is manifesting as a result. So because you are having this come to Jesus conversation with yourself, because you are coming to this divine union with yourself, the result is you're going to be leaving behind things. Sorry, minor earthquake. As I was saying, Six of Swords is showing you coming in, that coming into union with yourself that the Lovers represents results in you moving away from things that just don't suit you anymore, things you've outgrown, things that's like, this is what Spirit is saying, learned everything I can from this. So it's, I've learned everything I can from this relationship, or this job, or this city, or this organization, or whatever, and it's time to go. And, you know, like I said, Six of Swords, or I don't know if I said it because my camera died in the middle of what I was saying, so let me say it again. Six of Swords always comes after a struggle. It's the moving on after the conflict, right? And so the card representing where you find yourself is the Nine of Wands. And this is a card of strength. This is a card of staying vigilant, staying in the game, knowing that you have everything that it takes, even if you feel tired, even if you feel like, are we done yet? Are we there yet? Spirit is letting you know that in certain situations, it's okay for you to let go. I know you've put in a lot of work. If you want it, keep going. Don't leave anything behind that you want to keep fighting for, because if you want to keep fighting for it, that's a sign that you're really in it. But if you're tired of fighting for it, and Spirit said fighting over it and fighting in it and just fighting, this is your permission to move on. Especially if the conflict is coming because you have essentially outgrown being a constant giver. Like, never asking for anything for yourself. Give. Spirit is showing me, here's who's sitting in your past. Beautiful card, you know, Venus, her sigil right here, same ruled as you are, Libra, by Venus, the Empress. But Spirit is talking about the sort of shadow of the Empress, where you become like all things to all people at the cost of yourself. You know, the Empress represents the mother, and you know, the way that the mother archetype is revered and pedestaled and all the things. And like the reverse and shadow side of that is how mothers can be so taken for granted. Like, well, of course you're doing everything. You're a mom. Like, well, of course you should be capable of all of this. Like, you're super mom or whatever. And it's like, that's not a compliment. I'm not a fucking superhuman. Could you please like help me? Like, so I feel like, wow, Spirit's really excited for you. I just noticed something, like Spirit is putting pieces together for me here. It's time for you to face up to the shadowy aspects of working to please others and not working to please yourself. August is a time for you to be, as Spirit said, learning about your relationship with power and wielding your power. So here's the pieces that your genius right here is just putting together now as I look at these cards. Your past, your future. I mean, come on now. Past, the Empress. Future, the Emperor. Two sides of the coin. We talked about earlier the divine union of quote-unquote masculine and feminine within you. I'm putting that in big quotes because I'm not talking about gender. I'm talking about solar and lunar, right? Solar, active, doing, building. Lunar, resting, receiving. Ebb and flow, right? Ebb and flow. Ebb creates flow. We need ebb. I could talk. We need ebb to create flow. You've been ebbing. You've been sitting back. You've been for others. Now it's time for you to do for you. And here's the card that comes alongside the Emperor in your future. This actually precedes the Emperor. the moon, this is where Spirit is asking you to look at your shadowy relationship to power. Where have you maybe given your power away? You know, where has your power been stripped from you? And maybe you have continued to act out patterns that rhyme with and match the times that your power has been stripped away. Maybe, you know, like, maybe, this is what Spirit is saying, all right? Maybe it comes naturally to you to defer to other people, to give away your power or your consent or whatever when you don't really want to and don't really mean to. Just because it feels natural doesn't mean it's good. Things can feel natural because, as the moon card represents, it is in our unconscious patterns. It's in our like childhood dynamics that were taught and downloaded into us that we are just practicing because it's like, it's what's in there. It's the program. We got to deprogram. We've got to look at our relationship to power. We got to look at our willingness to be the emperor in our own life and say like, no, that's not okay. You know, the Empress, the mother, like, she can tend to be more permissive, and the Emperor is like, the buck stops fucking here. The line is right there, and you are real close to stepping over it, so I just want you to make a note and not do that. Like, and the Emperor knows what the Emperor wants. I mean, I can never get over how Spirit just always just comes through. Starting with that power card and putting the Emperor squarely in your future. What is it that you're like, I want this. This is mine. And this is like, and if you don't know, the moon, I don't know, it's confusing, it's unconscious, it's hidden from me because in my childhood, for example, or in my past, I was not allowed to think about what I wanted, or I was not allowed to think about a career in the arts because my parents wanted me in the sciences, so I didn't look at that, and now I'm like, this doesn't feel right, something feels out of place, but I'm not sure. A lot of times we blot things out, and our unconscious blots things out in trying to protect us. But we're grown now, and we have the ability to turn around and bring this skeleton on out of the closet and have a talk with her. Gee, why do we always self-sabotage when it comes to our business or whatever, like, or asking for what we want in relationship or whatever? Have to acknowledge that we have any kind of problem or issue or just something we want to change. We have to acknowledge that it isn't what we want before we can change it. Okay? So, the lovers, the emperor, the empress, this divine union, this divine coming together, the braiding together of two different sides of you that have been split. That's what Spirit is saying. And the key and conclusion to your August reading is awakening, is choosing, is being like, that's it. That's what I want. This is that clarity. When I look at my relationship with power, and when I look at what I really want and how I may have not allowed myself to go for it, oh shit, epiphany. Oh shit, this is what I want. What do you want? What do you want to build? It's a good time for a change, Libra. Your free will is everything. You do whatever you want with this reading and with your energy, with your actions, with your emotions. You always, of course, do whatever you want. But if you're still here, and if this is resonating with you, there is potential that you will stay boxed in. I opened with the fact that the Ten of Pentacles is a good card, but it can also indicate like, it's been like this for a while. Like, I've been in this job, or I've been in this apartment, or I've been in this city, or I've been in this relationship for a long time, and I'm ready to change. There is the potential that you could stay boxed in, afraid to move, afraid to make a change, afraid to like let go of one thing and ask for another. And it wouldn't be the end of the world, but it would be continuing another month on a path that isn't your path. So I say be willing to look out, to take risks. Please don't take risks like that. That was a very alarming speed that person was going. Okay. Pardon me, Libra. Take risks. I mean, that was pretty divine timing, right? But anyway, be willing to go outside of your wheelhouse. Be willing to like dare yourself to be like, okay, well, what if I did feel powerful? What if I did feel confident? What would I go for if I was like, if I believed in myself as someone who could like figure things out and accomplish them, and like someone who's worthy of that? What would I have? What would I do? What would I build? it's time to like play some dress up as the Emperor. And I mean that literally. It's like actually a thing I've done in the past with people on my on Patreon, which I do have, where we did a practice of like, which tarot card do you want to, like, what do you need more of in your life? Like, do you need Empress medicine? Do you need Emperor medicine? And in this case for you, Libra, we're talking about like, you need Emperor medicine. You need like, this is what I want. Firm. Like, I'm not afraid to ask for what I want. Like, this is what I want. This is what it is. And this is what I'm capable of. And this is what we're doing. Like, so you need some Emperor medicine. So part of doing Emperor medicine in a real simple way is like, let's go back to childhood and like dress up as the job we want. Like, I want to be a lawyer. Let me put on my little tweed blazer. Like, I'm an emperor. So I'm going to dress like I'm the fucking boss, and I'm going to walk tall, and I'm going to speak, you know, Libra, like y'all are natural actors and actresses in a lot of ways. So it's like, get into character. Just play as the emperor for like a day or two in your life and see what happens, see what changes, see what moves, see who responds, see what is summoned. It looks pretty fucking good to me. We're just gonna hold these guys up just one more time to remind you the balance and union that you are achieving this month, if you so choose. And that indecision though, Libra, ooh. All right, Libra, thank you for being here. I really hope that this is helpful for you. I hope it arrives in divine timing and offers you insight and affirmation. If you want to keep talking, I've got a Discord linked down below and a Patreon as well if you want to get access to some private and exclusive rooms in that Discord, but there's a public one as well. If you just want to come, hang out, talk with people who like the content, it's fun. And if you want to get a personal reading, anything you want, it's all down in the description. Thanks for being here again, Libra. I really appreciate you. And if I don't see you in any of the Sunday vlogs, then I hope I will see you in your September reading when it is Libra season. I'll see you then. Bye, Libra.